And we are live.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday.
How do I?
What are you doing?
Can I? Oh, there, I can paste right there. Very good. I am getting ahead of the game and pasting early today. How about that?
All right. So today's topic.
Today's topic. Today's topic. That's me.
It's your line.
Yeah. Today's topic is what causes depression. So kind of a serious topic, kind of a big topic. Obviously, you know, in the format that we have here, where we're only, you know, we're really trying to keep these to 15, 20 minutes tops. It's a big topic to try to put into that amount of time. Yeah.
So we're not going to go into a lot of detail, of course.
So,
but the first thing we want to say,
but wait, yeah, no,
serious. Something I prepared earlier.
Yeah, on a very serious note.
So we did want to say up front, of course, that it is crucial that you see your doctor, obviously. So if you've got any kind of symptoms, if you have depression or you think you may have depression, you've got any kind of symptoms, see your doctor. Or your medical professional, and obviously if you're on medication, continue taking the medication according to your doctor's instructions. If you want to come off your medication, see your doctor. So we're not recommending not using the medical options, because it's not an either or. You can do both.
Right.
So we're just suggesting, in addition to the medical route, you can also help yourself by Yeah,
exactly. And the kind of the point is that depression is such a, you know, there's a lot of causes, there's a lot of things that could be there. And, you know, we were talking about it earlier today. We, you know, kind of came up with an analogy or a metaphor of, you know, thinking about depression is kind of like our printer.
That sounds completely
random, but I liked your analogy for that.
Yeah. So if you think about it, you're printing out a document, and when you get the document, there's something wrong. It's either the wording is wrong, or the spacing is wrong, or it's the wrong font or the wrong color. Now, if you try and fix the printer, you know, in order to change that, you're not going to get very far. You need to go to the computer and access that document and change the document in the computer, and then it'll print out. You know, the way you want it, or unless there's something wrong
with the printer,
right? And then you need. So there's two options there.
So there's hardware, and there's software issues when it comes to thinking about depression. There's obviously, you know, physical things that could be causing the depression,
right?
But for the vast majority of us, it's more the software issues. A lot of us have experienced depression in one form or another. And a lot of that, you know, could be short term, a little bit longer term, but for most of us, we've experienced depression, and some of us experience depression and we've never been on drugs or that kind of thing. But we've had periods or bouts of depression that can be related to what we do, what we teach, which is dealing with the software.
Right. So the idea is, once you have gone the medical route and they, you know, it's determined that there is no hardware problem with your brain, then the answer is to address the software in this way. So you were going to ask me a question. I know you've got a question on the tip of your mind there.
You know, it's like, why do I even bother making notes?
So what would you like to know, Steve?
But the question is, you know, in regards to the software. So getting back to what it is that we teach, you know, we know that everything is related to childhood memories, going back and changing up the childhood memories. So how does changing childhood memories, or how do my childhood memories
have
any impact on depression?
Right.
You know, because
I knew that's what you were wondering.
Exactly.
All right. So,
oh my gosh.
So here's the thing. So what to bear in mind is that whatever you feel, including depression, the feeling of depression, the feeling of sadness, the feeling of anxiety, all feelings, what you're actually feeling is chemicals, is the result of chemicals in your body. And what is, so it's not esoteric, it's not kind of, you know, it's tangible, it's chemicals. So
Yeah.
And what's causing the chemicals is the brain and body are producing chemicals. And what's controlling the brain and body, of course, is the unconscious or subconscious mind. So the subconscious is referring to references. So it's not just memories, it's the information that the memories provides. So for example, something may happen. So something triggers you. So an event in your life may happen.
And I was going to say that most of the time in the past, when I've experienced depression and felt that depression, it always felt like something happened to me.
Right.
And it caused that depression.
Right.
It was like that happened, the depression happened. That's the link, the conscious mind. So, for example, I got a pink slip at work. And I got the pink slip. I don't have a job anymore. I'm depressed. It looks to me like that's what caused my depression.
Okay. But the difference is that some people would get a pink slip and be elated and think, thank goodness, I don't have to go back to that job again. Or take it as a sign that this is the sign that I need to start the business I've always been wanting to start. Others will see it as the end of the world. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm never going to get another job.
Right.
And what makes the difference between those reactions is the references you have. So in that moment, you get the pink slip, which I'm assuming is American for I've been fired. And I just gathered that from what you said.
They don't do pink slips in other parts of the world.
There may be other colors.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is they'll get the notification that they've been fired. So I get that. And now in that moment, my subconscious refers to what this means. And this is going to mean something different to different people based on what they've already got in their subconscious. So let's say I get this and my subconscious refers to the fact that's the fact that's proved by evidence from childhood memories that I'm not worthy. I'm stupid, I'm not worthy. So when I get this pink slip, my subconscious refers to that and goes, I'll never get another job because I'm not worthy. So
an example of that proof from childhood, just, a quick example of that might be what?
Well, the thing is that it's not going to be one incident.
Exactly,
either. It'll be built. So let's say I have an experience that I can't even remember from childhood of being, of feeling unwanted by my parents. And then I had an incident at school where I was bullied. And then another incident where a teacher shamed me in front of the class because I got something wrong or made fun of me. And so on. So all of these form a structure of evidence that provide proof for a belief.
Yeah, exactly.
So, when you try and change a belief, you try and change a belief, but you need to change what proves the belief to be true. And that's what we do with changing childhood memories, because the memories are proof. So with the depression, people have things happen to them. Different people will have the same thing happen to them and have different reactions, different responses, and that depends on what proof is in their subconscious of who they are and how the world works. So when you change, you can do exercise. Exercise is excellent for changing the chemical state and making you feel better. You can watch comedy. There's a lot of things. You can take medication. There's a lot of things that will change your chemical state and make you feel better. However, it's temporary, because once that thing is over, like you stop taking the medication or you finished exercising or you stop watching the comedy, the subconscious is still referring to the proof that you're not worthy or that you're in danger. And so so it'll just keep, your body and brain will keep recreating the chemicals of depression or anxiety or whatever it is. But if you change that proof and you can use the exercise, the comedy, the music, the dancing, whatever it is that'll pull you out of that state in the moment, you can use that to get you into a state where you are able to then go and change those memories. That's what that's for. And then you don't need to manage the depression because the reference for it is no longer there. I'm finished now. Sorry, I was on a roll.
That was a good roll. But the only thing that I would add to that, just reiterating, the point about drugs. If you're on medications, make sure that you titrate off of that with a licensed medical doctor and that kind of thing.
Professional.
But the advice about doing physical exercise, we know that from research results that physical exercise is in fact the best thing that you can be doing to improve your chemical state for depression in the moment. Again,
and it may have ongoing effects as well. But here's the thing I want to really make a point of is it does no harm to change your childhood memories. That's the main thing. There's no side effects. There's no damage. There's nothing wrong. It won't do any harm, and it can give you a foundation for transformation that you can't see from here, that you have, you're not aware of yet.
Yeah, for people that have been following us, you've heard us talking about changing up childhood memories. This is not a new thing. If this is the first time that you're hearing about this, however, I have posted, hopefully that worked, but I have posted some links ahead of everything in the comment section regarding some other resources if you'd like to kind of do a little bit more reading about changing up childhood memories.
Yeah.
So if that's something that's completely new to you and the thought of changing childhood memories seems strange or scary, or you can't really do that, you may want to check out a paper that we've got a link to regarding kind of some of the science behind changing up childhood memories. It's not a undocumented or unscientific type of endeavor.
Yeah. So another point on that is to bear in mind that there are no memories in your brain.
I think
there are. I'm gonna expand on that.
What do you mean by
there
that?
are no pictures in your brain. There are no sounds, and there are no feelings in your brain. There are just neurons and chemicals. And what you see or hear or feel is coming from connections between neurons. That's all it is. And changing memories is just changing that information. It's changing the way the neurons are connecting. It's not like going back in time and changing an event.
And I like the analogy of binary code. It's data.
Right.
They're just bits of data. And when you see brain scans, when they're doing brain scans of people thinking about things, trying to recall memories and that kind of thing, you're seeing different parts of the brain lighting up at different times as they're focusing on things. There's no one spot in the brain
correct
where memories are stored either